Bethany Building Center is your locally owned source for quality building supplies, lumber, hardware, plumbing, and electrical needs. Whether you're starting new construction, tackling a remodel, or putting up a pole barn or shed, our team is here to help. We're proud to carry a full line of steel power equipment, including trimmers, chainsaws, and pressure washers, as well as trusted power tools from top brands like Milwaukee and DeWalt. Bethany Building Center, everything for the builder and the do-it-yourselfer.
Looking for a fresh style? Come to Hairspray Salon, your full-service destination for beauty. From cuts, coloring, and perms to flawless formal styles and makeup, our stylists do it all. Treat yourself with gel, dip, or acrylic nails, plus relaxing pedicures and professional waxing services. Need a thoughtful gift? Ask about our gift certificates. Hairspray Salon is open Monday through Friday, with Saturdays available by appointment. Feel confident, look beautiful at Hairspray Salon.
All right, CF Rainey here, another one of our Sports Central interviews, finishing up winter sports. All of our interviews brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital, and joined by Coach Kasey McFall and South Harrison senior wrestler Crae Coffey. And Crae won a state championship this year. And so, Coach, maybe just let you talk a little bit about that state tournament. You had a number of guys competing. You ended up with 3 guys on the podium. Crae gets the ultimate there at the top of the podium in his weight class for the championship. Maybe just talk about going into the state championship with your team, how you guys approached that and how it went for some of the other guys.
Yeah, so we had 5 guys qualify for state. Cruz Stewart, Dawson Pelletier, Ethan Smith, Crae, and Ruger Johnson. And when we're getting ready for that tournament, we're just thinking one match at a time, just trying to take care of business one match at a time, preparing for that opponent that we have next. And I thought as a team, they all wrestled well. We showed a lot of toughness down there. We won 2 matches in overtime. So it was a competitive tournament. Ethan Smith and Ruger Johnson were both able to bring home 3rd place medals, and I'm really proud of them. It's not very often that you have 3 seniors all end on a win. So with 2/3 and a champion, it was a really fun tournament. And there was a lot to be happy about.
Okay, so Crae, we'll get to you. And we know you're a professional, Crae, because I saw the interview outside of Mizzou Arena with you on that. And so, Crae, maybe just talk a little bit about, when did you start wrestling? How old were you when you started wrestling?
I started wrestling when I was 6 years old.
Okay, and so you've been wrestling ever since. You come through USA Wrestling and all the youth wrestling stuff. You get to finally where you're wrestling for your school in junior high. Then you get to high school, and you've had success. How many times did you make state in wrestling in high school?
I made it all 4 years.
So all 4 years, and then you placed how many of those years before, including this year, I guess?
I medaled 3.
Yeah, and so that's huge. So I'm looking down. I've got the information from your Facebook page, Coach. And so the only other state champion we'd had prior to Crae was one of your assistant coaches, Austin Ward. He did it twice. You ended up second one year. Crae had second last year. You also had a 3rd place finish. I guess that'd be your senior year. And so there's not a lot of names where there are guys that have been on there numerous times, and especially all the way at the top. Maybe you could just talk about Crae a little bit and what he's meant to you as a coach and to your team the last few years.
Yeah, Crae's been awesome. When I started this job 5 years ago, I definitely knew Crae was going to be coming through, and I knew he was going to be special. And being a 3-time state medalist, he's just the 4th wrestler in South Harrison history to do that. And he's meant a lot to this program. He's got us headed in the right direction, and he's kind of made wrestling cool again. Along with Green and Ruger and a lot of those guys, and really proud of what Crae was able to accomplish. Just the 2nd state champ in South Harrison history with our assistant coach, Coach Ward, and it was exactly 10 years later. So it was kind of a Cinderella story in that way.
Yeah, and so Crae, we'll get back to you. So a year ago as a junior, You make it all the way to that championship match. You lose it. Obviously, that's right. You're disappointed. What were you thinking coming into your senior year? Was that like at the top of your goal list that, hey, I not only want to get back, but I want to win state as a senior?
Yeah, that was the main goal this year, win state.
And so maybe talk about it a little bit, Crae, how hard it is because we watched your matches. I was here at school. We're down in the gym watching them. It was awesome that night after the basketball game, after district basketball, to sit and watch you. But we're watching you, and I remember seeing you here versus Penny versus Nixdorf here, and that was a tough match. You had a rematch with him. When you get to this level, Crae, right, one mistake could cost you a state championship. How did you approach each of those matches, especially as you started moving against better and better wrestlers?
Yeah, this year at state, whenever I started going against like my better competition, I started wrestling a lot safer than I usually do. Like whenever I was up in points, I just kind of stay back and not get scored on. And I think that helped me a lot because it made it a lot harder for people to score on me.
So, Coach, is that something you guys are talking about too? That, hey, let's play it a little closer to the vest and not take those big, especially if you got a guy that was favored to win it in his weight class. That you approach that maybe a little differently than if you were an underdog.
Yeah, for sure. With Crae, we'd wrestled pretty much everyone in his bracket at some point this year, and we knew if we wrestled our match that we could beat anybody, and really the only way we were going to lose is if we made a mistake. So we just focused on scoring points when they were available, not doing anything crazy, and winning the match, whether that was a pin in the first period or it took all 6 minutes. So Crae did a good job with that this year. All season long, we're not trying to force anything. We're trying to win. You can win in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be a pin. That's kind of that's a different mindset than he's had in previous years where it was, pin or be pinned. We were trying to not be that wrestler anymore, and it paid off.
And so, Craig, do you think that's just maturity, right? As you've gotten older, now your final year of high school wrestling, that you've learned to get away from that mindset of go all out, that there's kind of some strategy to it?
Yeah, I think so. That's yeah.
Yeah.
He's got more comfortable wrestling, first 6 minutes, and I'm sure he wants to say this, but his teammates that he wrestles every day, they force him to wrestle, whether we're doing a 10-minute grind match or whatever it is, they force him to wrestle for, long periods of time, and they put him in situations where he has to wrestle smart. So just give them a shout out. Ruger Johnson, he wrestled every day. Ethan Smith, you never know what you're going to get out of him. So.
And so, Crae, kind of one more question for you. Everything builds up, right? When you're 6 and you think of any sport, with football, basketball, whatever sport you're playing, golf, as a kid, you're doing it, you're thinking of being a state champ. You're thinking of getting that. And so we were watching it, and again, we were in the gym watching it, the community and so many of your classmates were there watching it. What was the immediate feeling after you won? And they raised your hand. Was it relief? Was it joy? Was it what was the first things that just kind of came to you when they raised your hand up?
I think I was pretty excited. I was a little relieved too, because just I was really nervous. Like a couple hours before the match, I got pretty nervous.
Yeah, because all
I
the
knew the match.
yeah, all the pressure's on you, right? I mean, you're the favorite, you're the guy. You some of the other matches were maybe people and you see it before, maybe a semifinal or something. People are like, well, that's really the state championship between these two guys, and now all that pressure's on, right? An 18-year-old. And coach, you've been there. You're out there, and it's the last night. The lights are on, and everyone's looking. They have all their pomp and circumstance they go through. How did you dealing with it as a wrestler help you to help Crae and Ruger and Ethan to deal with that kind of pressure heading into that last day and those last matches?
Well, first of all, Crae saying that he was nervous for something is, that's just crazy. You don't hear that. Crae doesn't get nervous. He's pretty chill, pretty relaxed. So, when he said that, I knew he was ready. He was ready for it to be tough. That was kind of my message to him before the match was, it wasn't going to be easy, but as long as you just do it's not going to be an issue. And then as far as my experience goes, the biggest thing, I can tell any wrestler is you just got to trust yourself. You got to trust, all the work that you put in. Wrestling is a long season. It's a grind. You go through a lot of hard practices. You just got to believe in what you've done, believe in yourself, believe in your coaches, then go out there and have fun.
And so finally, Crae, you get there. Your mom and dad are there. Your sister's there, right? You've got family, all your friends. How much, right? All the work you put in, but I think about your parents, and I know your parents, right? All those times taking you to practices when you were little, all those times taking you to the youth tournament. What was it like when you first got to go over and throw your arms around your parents and celebrate with your family after you won the championship?
Yeah, I was really excited. I'm really grateful for my parents. Spent a lot of time and money taking me to wrestling meets and spending their whole entire Saturday at a wrestling meet when I was little and in high school too. So I'm just really grateful for them. My sister too. She always supported me. She'd go to those too.
No, it's great. And so, Coach, congratulations with your team success. Crae, congratulations. Ethan, Ruger, all the guys that made state, but those guys that were able to get up on the podium that last day. Great season. It's been a great winter for South Harrison athletics, and wrestling was a big part of it. So thanks to you guys for making time to be able to do this with me today.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
CF.